Kia ora, New Zealand.
Hello.
I think we're back. Producer Tom tells me that we're back. And so I'm just checking.
We're just gonna confirm that right now.
We are back. Right. So we're gonna give we are back. We're gonna give it a minute for people to come back into the show because they will have been cut off momentarily, and so hopefully we're back in again. Not sure what happened there, but hey,
we did have a good chat that you guys missed out on. So you know, maybe we'll leak that out on our Patreon at a later
date. maybe that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Just whilst we're waiting for people to come back into the chat, Morgan,
yes.
How was Roxborough at the weekend? You were obviously involved. We're not going to go through the results now. We'll do that a bit later. But
we won't go into the results just yet. For me, let's just go into me personally. It was so good. It was so good to get back up there. I love that place so much. But I tell you what, Matt, for the second year in a row, the course has beaten me. And I'll be honest about that. For the second year in a row, I actually cramped out, and you know, there's nothing else that's happened, especially in my disc golf life, where I've cramped out, and it's really just done a number on me. So drinking plenty of water, drinking a lot of electrolytes. I even had a caddy, and I got to hole 12 on the second round on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're sort of walking around up on the hillside looking for a disc, and then when I came back down to the flat, the left leg just blew. I hit the ground, shoe came flying off, caddy came flying in, hand on the sweatiest foot in the world, sorting me out, and then unfortunately the next hole, the other leg went as well. So I managed to limp my way through.
So hold it, you got cramp in way, like your hammy or your calf? On your calf. Okay.
Calf, both legs.
Both.
So
how?
Both legs. The second leg went one hole later.
How did you do that?
It was pretty gnarly. I don't know, man. It's a big course. It's a big course. It was around 33 to 35 degrees.
Right.
Both days. There's a lot of elevation, and look, honestly, probably just not as fit as I really need to be right now. And I've had a hard couple of weeks, so you know it got the better of me for a second year in a row. But what it did allow me to do is it allowed me to take the Sunday off, really focus on prize giving and how the event was going on Sunday, making sure everyone was getting to their tee times and all of that. So we had a really successfully run tournament, especially coming down the stretch.
Okay.
So that's the bonus side to that, you know, being able to put 100% focus into the tournament.
Okay. And so did you do your stretches beforehand? Your limerick? Clearly not. If it was
no, running around the course, making sure everything's good to go, and then all of a sudden it's player meeting. All of a sudden we're on the course.
No, I know what you mean. There would have been a lot of people who, I mean, I think that's something that's gradually coming into disc golf, right? Is that more people are spending more time and a lot more kind of deliberate action in making sure that they stretch beforehand, that they get themselves limbered up and are in the right kind of space for the for being able to play around, right? Because it's going to make sure that you can go the distance, as it were.
Yeah, I think I mean, I feel like a big turning point across the board, and not just for the pro players, is when and I can't remember the guy's name, but Disc Golf Strong sort of showed up on the scene, and he started training a lot of the high-end profile players and doing their routines, and you see them doing that before all of the tournaments for a good half hour to an hour before they even get onto the practice putting green, you know, and it obviously makes a big difference for them. Me running the tournament definitely didn't get a chance to do that, just hooked straight in, and I think second hole was like straight uphill, so you know it was good though, man. You know, like shit happens, excuse my language, but it happens, and we move on. We run a tournament and things went swimmingly.
Indeed. I think it's actually also, just on this point, I think it's going to be something that we see more of as more and more athletes start transitioning to disc golf. All right, so what I mean by that is disc golf typically is people who, it's going to sound silly, is people who play disc golf, people who don't necessarily have an athletic background. But I think what's going to happen in the future is you're going to see more players with athletic backgrounds, for example, Taylor Chosek, coming in and playing and taking up disc golf, right? And so they're going to have all of the habits, knowledge, etc., from preparing their bodies for a sporting event, which they'll bring into disc golf. So I think that's going to happen.
I have a good point in case for New Zealand as well, as I can just look as close as Andrew Popham from Christchurch, who super fit guy, really looks after himself, and he went through a lot of injuries, but he rehabbed correctly. And in university, I believe he's studying sports specifically in one area for disc golf as well.
Wow. Okay.
So I mean, he's someone to look out for in the next couple of years who might actually bring that in to our sport in the country as maybe a business, or however you want to look at it.
And of course,
sports physio.
There's Jake Brennan up in Auckland who does the same thing, and even Levi's studying physiotherapy, I think.
Yes, he is. That's right. Yep.
Down in Dunedin as well. So yeah, it's something that's, you're going to see a lot more of it, which is good, right? It's good for the people don't get cramp. So
don't be like me and cramp out like a wuss.
Yeah, don't be like Morgan. Right. Let's get on with the show, shall we? I'm not sure where we cut off. I think I was telling people what we're going to be going through today, so I won't labour it too much. But hot scores, interview, Roxburgh and Moonshine, Middle Earth Smash, power rankings. Morgan, hot scores. Start us down south.
Yes, I am going to start you down south, but I am going to take one step back very quickly, because it'd be remiss if I didn't. Matt was talking about his run that he did at the weekend, and I shouted out Keith Stevens of Cromwell, formerly of Invercargill, who on March 1st is doing his second Ironman. He completed one last year, and he's looking to one up it and do better this year. So we won't go back through it, but shout out to you, Keith. Go hard on the March 1st, bro. We'll be following. And then we go straight into hot scores, and we head down to Invercargill in the Queen's Park. And this week we have James Dean, 13 under par, shooting the hot score down there in Invercargill. Then we're going to head over to Chingford in Dunedin. We've got Nicholas McDermott and Seb Falconer, who must be doing a little bit of a tour when he's on his way down to Southern Smash this weekend. They both shoot 7 down this week. Ephraim Russell with 6 down at Brockville. And then we head to Queenstown Gardens, and we've got Smokey, Mr. Pete Mackay, shooting 15 under par. Over to Wanaka, we've got Mundo McDisc with a 10 under par. Mark, Scott Brooker, and Alistair Upston, but all shoot 8 under par. We got that one out. 6 under par gets done for Jamie at Warren Park. Smallbone Reserve, KBG, 16 down this week, Matt. Absolute fire. Queen's Park Reserve sees Josh at 7 under par. Saxton Field sees Kyle Crittenden with 5 under par. And rounding out the top of the South Island, we have Mr. Alex Batten at Brantford Park shooting 16 under par. So some absolute heat coming out. A couple of new names showing up on the Southern leaderboard this week. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening up in the north.
Well, starting off in the capital, Ben Morrison goes around Berrenpaw's black layout, which is the full 18, at 10 under par. So well done to Ben. He's playing in Middle Earth Open, which will be interesting to see how he goes. Scott Unsworth is here around here. Koi with a 5 under par. Up at Harcourt Park, Ashton Clark and Andy Davey share the spoils with 8 under par. Arthur Horn doing the business at 9 down around Linklater. And Louis Hickson and Brian Rawlins share the honours at Maryland's with a 4 under par. Dan Pickersgill's even par 61 around Spa Park Black is enough for the win this week. And Joey Parks goes around Henderson at 14 down. Woodhill sees Zach Armour at 5 under. And Oscar goes around Rosedale at 6 under par. So congratulations and well done to anybody who got a hot score this week.
Is that a couple of new names up in the north as well, Matt?
Yeah, a couple of new names. Names there. Something else that we might be getting a couple of new names on, and that is the courses that we feature in Hot Scores. Because, as you know, we feature in Hot Scores the top 20 most popular courses around New Zealand, and that list gets updated annually. And it's almost time for that list to be updated. So look out for that.
Do we have a date for the refresh?
No, we don't. But it's whenever I sort my life out, really, and get onto UDisc and do all that. So I mean the data analytics team. So we'll have to Anyway, it's coming, so just look out for it. Right, let's bring in our guest tonight. He's been on the show before. He's very much a friend of the show. I'd like to welcome at this time, good evening, Johnny Wake.
G'day, team. How are we?
Very good, thank you. Very good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Covering after a few big weeks of disc golf.
You have had a few big weeks of disc golf. Obviously, you played most of the tournaments that were most recently up and down the country. You were at Topor, and then did you played
missed Auckland?
You missed Auckland, but you played the rest of them.
Yeah, sister was getting married, so I had an excuse for that.
Fair enough. We'll let you away with it.
Yeah.
And then obviously you played nationals, but in between then you played. Was it straight after Topor that you played?
Yes.
You played Wellington Centurion. So
yeah, that was a big hus back to Wellington for the Centurion.
So 3 days around Spa Park wasn't quite enough. Off the back of a weekend at Inglewood, you had to rush back to Wellington to play 101 holes around Wellington. Yeah. I bet the old Pool Crescent felt a little bit tricky after playing Spa Park.
It was a struggle, low ceilings and tight corridors, and yeah, it was a pretty slow week at work after that. I wasn't up many trees that Tuesday, I tell you.
Very much a ground-based week of work is that one. Yeah. Excellent. So how was it for you? How's the first sort of 6 weeks of this year been for you, competing wise, and your disc golf? What's been going on?
It's been really good. I've really enjoyed getting amongst it with the pros that are here. It was really inspiring to see that they were sort of more here on holiday and just to learn new bags, new discs, and they were just really on here to holiday and play some good disc golf. And they played some good disc golf. Yeah, it was very cool to see their routines, how they practice a new course. Kind of wondered how much that they do it all the time, that they're paid professionals. So it was pretty cool to see, and caught a few practice rounds.
Talk us through some of those practice rounds then, and how they were different to either what you expected or what you've seen, or you talked about it was interesting to see what they did. What did they do? What was so different about it?
The best example I probably could give is at Bottle Lake, obviously tight fairways. Lots of AMs you'd see emptying their bag, trying to hit a fairway, but they would still probably throw that disc that they threw first off the tee. That'll still be their tournament play. That'll be their favorite disc. So not emptying your bag just to hit a 4 foot wide fairway. And then the likes of the pros will go out, and it was impressive watching Robert Burridge practice. Actually, he'd go out, he had 3 generals, and he'd pipe a sidearm back and get those 3 discs, and he'd walk all the way back to the tee and do it again until he was happy with it.
Okay, so it wasn't a case of just like, if he missed the gap, it's like, well, that's the right disc, but I'm not going to labour the point. I'm going to move on. It was repeat it till he gets it right, or almost repeat it till he doesn't get it wrong, kind of.
100%. And like when you're practicing learning a new course, you don't need to practice putting at every basket. So you just, and even some of the drives, they're like Inglewood normal hole 1, usually it was tournament hole 3. It's 3 full drives to get to the basket. So measure off the distance and then throw the approach. It was a tricky green. It was pretty stock shots for them up the fairway. That kind of mindset, as well as where they play, that they'll play for a safe edge of circle putt rather than trying to park a basket that's almost unparkable kind of thing. So that's a mindset thing.
I think it's this interesting, and we've done the maths on this before, that if you're comfortable from, say, circle's edge, or even like 8 meters, right? If you can take your percentage that you're normally at from 5 meters, say, and be okay from 8 meters at the same percentage, right? Then the difference in the area of ground that you have to aim for is huge.
Yeah,
right?
Exponentially.
So it's absolutely massive. And so I think that's because in the case of 5 meters, right, you've got an 80 square meter area to hit. If you go to 8 meters, you've got 200 square meters to hit. It just so much bigger again. And if you I think if you said to a lot of people, you've got a 200 square meter area to hit on the ground over there with this disc, can you do it? I think most people would be like, of course I can. That's a huge space. And then that puts you within 8 meters, and even if you're at the furthest point away on that 200 meter square meter, that's 8 meters, right? And if you're comfortable from that range, then that makes so much difference.
100%, and taking a less risky line to give you a better percentage look. Why bother trying to shave a tree this close to park the basket when you play the circle where it's open kind of thing?
So who did you get to play with then? What was your who did you play on the cards with?
So lucky. At Inglewood, I managed to play with Robert Burridge, Eli, Chandler Fry. I got to play with Goose and Braden Sides and Taupo.
Nice.
I was just Paul Oman, Nate Perkins on the final round there. Didn't get to see much of them at Nationals. I was a wee bit down the order, but no, I was super lucky with who I got to play with over the TDU. It was some really well run events, and it was just cool to see the clubs in those areas get behind those events and really drive it as well. It was cool, so cool to meet all the Bros for Change boys. It was the first interaction I've had with a lot of them, so it was really cool to see them.
That's a good group of guys right there, man, and you have put it right, hit the nail on the head there. The mahi they put in is phenomenal. Like,
oh yeah,
huge. Man, like, and it shows, right? Because it's not just one area; it's the whole lot across the board that's getting attention. So yeah, big shout out to the Bros for Change boys.
Absolutely, the guys at Nationals, them and Jen Wilkinson as well. Those guys did amazing with those courses.
Yeah. I mean, I only played Nationals, but it was obvious that there was a big crew behind all of the preparations that went behind it. You know, when you got 300 people showing up to an event, it's something else.
Got to deliver.
Indeed. So how do you feel about your play?
I was pretty stoked. It's hard. You always look at the rounds and where you sit and everything, and you always want more. It felt like I got to Nationals and I hadn't played a round that I had genuinely been stoked with. But a long time ago, I set myself the goal of being in the top 5 Kiwis and then playing 970 to 1030 golf, which is pretty much what I managed to shoot over the course of the tour down under.
You got 998, 963, 987, and 960 at Nationals, man. That's pretty outstanding golf.
Yeah, it's hard to, I suppose, because I'm still quite new to this. It's been a very steep curve, and now the curve is sort of tapering a little bit, so I got to limit my expectations. It's hard to keep
somewhat, but I mean, perhaps, understandably. I mean, the faster you go, the harder it is to go faster, right? So, yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I was mid-20s at Nationals last year in Auckland, and I was sort of the same with like 12 more pros that came over.
Yeah, so I mean,
in terms of the Kiwis, it was really
I'm just looking down it now. Levi, Ben, Jay on his home course, 3, Jackson 4. Sergey 4, Jackson 5, Jasper
he plays well around
6, Francis 7. You're 8. Yeah. So you were in the top 8 at Nationals, and in the top 3 at Topor, and in the top 2 at Inglewood, amongst the Kiwis.
Yep.
So that's pretty good shooting. Pretty good shooting.
Yep, absolutely.
And you've got a couple of events coming up. You've got Middle Earth this weekend down in Wellington.
Yep, Middle Earth this weekend.
Excited for the back 9. I don't know whether they call it the back 9. It sort of is it's a back 8, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Eastern 8. Let's call it the Eastern 8. Yep. Yes, that sounds good.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to playing that layer. I have watched the footage when Jaden and Levi had that great battle at Nationals. And that's basically the course, minus a couple of changes.
Who, if we're looking,
one hole is switched around. But yeah.
I don't mean to put anyone else out of the conversation, but just after Andy's performance last week, does this course favour you or Andy?
Andy doesn't play it as often, like for a Wellington local, he doesn't play it as often as you might think. He's more Hikoikoi, Harcourt Park. He smashes rounds out there. So I don't know. He pedals well.
Yes, boy.
he does well, and he does well on any course. It'd be cool to see him at a few more events outside of Wellington Masterton. I'd love to see him back out on tour and giving Nationals a crack, North Islands a crack, because I enjoy playing with him.
Well, just do the Josh Pratt way and just back yourself. Inside joke. Right. If you know, you know.
It's interesting because and Andy's game's incredibly. When he's on, he's almost unstoppable, right? And if you catch him on one of those days, it's going to be real tough. But then you've both got a fairly similar-ish game, right? You both throw far, but you're a lefty, he's a righty.
Like Heiser and full send.
And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really interesting battle. The data analytics team have actually got it getting pretty close. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to certainly the final round. And you get a good battle. But you've actually got another event coming up, hopefully. Hopefully. in the later on in the year. Talk us through that. Talk us through what you're doing. Talk us through what you got going on.
Yeah, so I am hoping to be playing the Amateur Disc Golf World Champs in Columbia, Missouri in August. I think mid-August. So a few courses. Harmony Bends is probably the one that people will recognize. But I think there's about 6 courses we'll play there. So yeah, that's sort of what we've been building towards. I saw Levi, Jaden, there was a couple of others down south. Brady went. Someone else from down south went as well. They went a couple of years ago, and that sort of, it sort of piqued my interest a little bit. And I got the invite last year, and it wasn't something that I was really ready for, and I just got told not to take cash because there wasn't really much point for the sake of $200 in a local C tier to then be stuck as a pro forever after. So I saw the other night, actually, I've got my invite for USA Amateur Disc Golf Championship. So I got the invite for that. It's sitting in my inbox. But we'll see when invites come out for AM Worlds, and hopefully I've done enough to be in the tier 1 of registration. So it should be pretty simple to register and get into that.
And so what are you doing? Because it's not an insignificant trip to get over there, and the flights and the accommodation and the tournament entry fee and everything else, right? So what's going on?
So that's where the fundraisers come in. They've got a very cool initiative. Couple of people. I've got an awesome support network around me, and we've got some very awesome people who have donated some cool prizes to give away. So we're running a bit of a raffle for fundraising for.
We've got it on the screen,
Worlds.
Johnny. We can still hear you, but you're not on the screen. But we can still hear you. So talk us through it.
Yeah, so what have we got there? We've got 4 big prizes, and we'll run a raffle for 2 to 3 weeks, and then hopefully come back on the show and draw it. And entries, $40 for an entry, and then 3 for 100. Good value. And there's some pretty awesome prizes there.
Yeah, I mean, look, a Zuka cart, a grip bag, that's pretty much the best of what you can get in however you choose to carry your disc. You've got some Ideo shoes and some mystery discs also, or a mystery disc. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got some signed discs from Nationals, a couple of pros, and I've got some special ones on the shelf, which I'll package up for someone.
Fantastic.
Find out what they like.
Fantastic. So, I mean, that's going to be a great great set of prizes for some lucky winners. So so how do people, if people want to buy a ticket, if people want to get involved and support you, what do they need to do?
Yep, up on both my socials, so on Facebook and Instagram, flick me a message. I'll ping you the bank account and get your name on the list. And then, yeah, that'll go a long way to getting me across there, helping me out. And if you need any tree work done, I'm the guy too.
Good man.
Well, I need to chat to you about that, actually, genuinely.
Excellent.
When are you doing the draw?
Within 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have to do it all properly, do it all legit. So it's all transparent and open with everybody, and yeah, we'll get everyone's names on a list and hopefully come back on the show and draw it in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Fantastic. So we shall look forward to that. So make sure you get your ticket. I'll be getting one. Producer Tom said he was. Morgan, you're getting involved probably. So it's gonna go well. I need a backup card, quite frankly. So
yeah, that's the one. We were saying a few people said that Azuka should be MA40 and above only.
well, you'll have to see. There might be you might be limiting yourself there slightly, but
I just need something to help get me around Roxburgh. Far out.
Yeah, I do. Is a Zuka wheelchair? Is that one of the prizes? Can we get that for Morgan?
Well, motorized Zuka wheelchair with a cooler box underneath, please.
That's really all you need. That's it. Fantastic. Well, look, that's going to be incredible. So yeah, it would be an amazing trip. So get involved, people. Message Johnny on his socials, through his Instagram, through his Facebook. Just ping him a message. He'll send you all the details that you need to get going. And yeah, that's and you could win. Just run through the prizes again because we haven't got them back up on screen. So
we got a Zuka cart, and we got a grip bag. Unsure of the make and model. Grip bag, and then TDU shoes. We'll try and make sure we got the right size, and then we've got a bunch of cool discs to give away too.
Fantastic. That's going to be great. It's going to be great. So what have you got in the meantime then? Up until that point, you've got Middle Earth this weekend. Have you got any other tournaments which you're kind of eyeing up, or you're trying to pack the calendar, or
we'll have to see. Not really. It's hard to get motivated to play competitive disc golf on a local level when you've just come from playing around Goose.
This guy.
Yeah, right.
It is a different mindset to get into after playing and having to be on that level. And so yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll take it easy and save the pingers for Amworlds and that trip over there. We don't want to spend too much. I've traveled a lot and played disc golf in the last 2 years that I've been playing. I've packed out the calendar. Yeah. So there won't be as much of me up and down the country this year, but we are running our first sanctioned event at Buckley Golf Course, which is a course that I've designed and set up along with Jesse Wilson and Shannon. So that'll be just a 1 day.
The Buckley Blowout, is that the name?
That is the one. It gets pretty windy. It's pretty spicy down there, and there's lots of elevation too. I don't know. Did you come up and play that?
I haven't played that one. No. But that kind of middle corridor, I guess, between Taupo and Wellington seems to be real good for if you want to play some windy disc golf, because Te Pohoi's on that kind of strip as well, right? A bit further up.
Mm-hmm. Coastal winds.
It's like it's windy. We saw what happened at Inglewood for wind.
Well, yeah, that third round was nasty.
And yeah, to a degree, Brooker Ave as well, but obviously there's a different kind of wind there. But I think that's going to be great. So Buckley Blowout, that's in April, did you say?
Yes, 13th April, Sunday 13th. So, and then we'll aim to run sort of an inaugural sort of 2-day event. We'll suss out some dates, probably in winter when the calendar's pretty empty.
Yeah, sweet. Nice. And then up until that point, you've got Amworlds in August, but going to take it pretty easy over the winter period, autumn-winter period.
Think so. It'd be pretty cool to save up and play a pro tour, or at least go and watch one while I'm over there.
Have you seen the calendar? Where do the stops kind of?
Yeah, I've made sure I've dated it all out. Deglow at Toboggan would be the one. A week and a half after. I think Ledgestone is a bit. It's sort of. I think how it sort of mucked Michaela and Amy around. They had to do a whole day of traveling to get 1 day of practice after Ledgestone with Amworlds last year. So it's a bit close. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, it's going to be a good. It's going to be great to follow you and great to follow your journey in getting there as well. We look forward to doing the draw on the show in a couple of weeks' time. And yeah,
Absolutely.
so get involved, get a ticket, message Johnny, get involved, and win yourself a Zuka cart or a grip bag or some shoes or some discs and some awesome prizes. So
and just support Johnny, because there's only one Johnny way.
Indeed. I wonder if producer Tom can put a link
Appreciate
to Johnny's socials into the chat, so that it's, I mean, his Instagram name's up on underneath his name right now. But if you're the clicking links type, then maybe that's an easier way to get.
Make it easy for you.
Right. So look, thank you so much, Johnny, for coming on. Great chat, and thank you for talking for us through the fundraiser and giving us some insights into your experiences at in Towport, Inglewood, and Nationals as well. It's great to see. Very best of luck at Middle Earth this weekend. I'm going to be. I can't play it because of reasons, but I will be. I do need to drop a few discs off to people, so I may well see people over the weekend. So if I do, then yeah,
perfect.
But very best of luck, and yeah, good luck with the fundraiser.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right,
see you, bro.
Have a good one, Joe. There we go, Morgan. We've got quite a juicy set of prizes, eh? I mean,
yeah, too right. Absolutely. I mean, especially that Zuka cart, man. Those things are worth some proper bank.
Yeah.
So they are. Yeah, man. $40 to have a go and support one of our guys. Or $100 for 3 tickets. Get into it.
Yeah, and look, even if the prizes weren't up for grabs, Johnny's one of the nicest guys in disc golf, and so you want to get involved with supporting him in his journey and getting him over to what will be the tournament of his career, I would suspect. Yes. So yeah, you remember last year? Was it last year we were talking about, because he won Rookie of the Year or Breakthrough Player of the Year for 2023, because that's when he started playing at the very beginning of 2023 and then just exploded from there.
If people forgot about that, yes, we are saying 2023.
I know that's
2 years.
Like a long time ago. But
yeah,
there we are. Anyway, right.
What a beast.
Let's get on with looking back at some of the events that were from last weekend. Let's go to Roxburgh first. Morgan, you were there. You were organising, and yeah, how was it?
Yeah, it was bloody good. There was some, man, honestly, I'm just scrolling back through the divisions right now, and there was battles, excuse me, across the board. I'll just jump down a couple divisions in the MA1 where Ben Quinn ended up taking down the win there. There's a six shot difference showing there at the final
going
score.
To the final round though.
Yeah, but these guys were 10 down a piece going into the last round. And it was hot as heck. It was windy. And, Ben shot one of the hotter rounds of the day, shooting a 6 under par, which was real spicy for that course on that day. So big shout out to Benny boy there.
Second best round of the day was that 58. The best round of the day went to Jack Maffey, shooting a 10.29 rated final round. So I mean, there was a
turning point. Yeah, there was a big turning point for Jack. Not so much in the scores, but coming into hole 11 on the final round. It's a wee short 52-meter hole. You're playing slightly uphill. Behind the basket is a bunker and then a green, maybe like within circle 1, and the basket's propped up high on a big rock. And Jack managed to throw it in for the hole in 1. He said he got a little bit lucky. He took a zone, threw a forehand just up into the wind that was coming left to right, and it just dunked to the chains. Francis got the birdie, so that squared them off. At that point, that squared them off on the scores. But then that gave him the mental edge to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that one shot was the turning point of the tournament, and that's what got him across the line, in my opinion.
10.29, the best round of his career. And a player who he was on the show a few weeks ago, who we've really seen just sort of go like this. Yeah. Uphill.
Yep. He's on the escalator to greatness, we'll call it. He's got RPM on his back. He's got disconnection on his back. a couple other smaller sponsors, and he's also got a new sponsor that he's about to announce. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Wow. He is definitely one of these players that's come from the MA1 ranks and just gone through the roof. So I'm very excited for Jack.
Sebastian Faulkner rounds out the podium in MPO. In FPO, Hayley Flintoff puts in a much better performance this weekend and beats Victoria Speller and Echo Lee.
That's the comeback. That's the comeback win as well. In third round, she was behind going into the last round.
Indeed, she was. But 8 shots, 8-shot comeback in that final round. In MP40, Mikey Yu wins by 7 shots. Really did all the business in the second round.
Yes, he did.
And takes out over Johnny Ferrari. Carl Martin performing well. And tied with Hemitir Fitu to take out the third podium spot. Talked about Ben Quinn over Kevin Carpenter. Joel Maunder finished in third here, beating out Carl Barringer by a shot. Alison Tweedy wins FA1 comfortably. Jeremy Hills wins by a shot over Lance Eason in the best division.
That was a serious battle.
I was going to say this was also one that went down to the wire, and you know, Jeremy Hill shooting 9.57 and 9.31 back to back in MA40 is nothing to be be snatched at either. Tanya Behun wins FA40. Mark Tebbett wins comfortably in MA50. Down to MA2, and Connor Rabbage wins MA2 with a 9.25, 9.05 and a 9.42 final round to win by 14 strokes. And in MJ15, Connor Rance wins with an 8.97 and a 9.07 rated rounds for him. Very good. So worth having also a look at Sarah Wadsworth's tournament.
Yeah, 100%.
She was competing on her own and only completed 2 rounds.
Just one round. That's something just one round a day. That was a decision that I made with her father months beforehand.
Yeah,
it's just something we have to work out with the PDJ on the back end for ratings and all of that. But yeah, 2 rounds, played incredible golf. What she got the 868 and 871, so 2 rounds, 40 plus points above her rating. Just she smashed it out there on hole 1. I took the 2 rounds I played hole 1. I shot 2 7s. She shot a 6 off the same tee, 339 meters.
Yeah, I mean,
into a headwind.
So in round 1, let me just check this a second. In round 1, she beats Alison Tweedy by 2 shots. In round 3, Alison beats her by 3 shots. So she's not too far behind. Now we must. There's caveats there. She's playing 1 round a day, etc., etc. So, but it won't be too long before we start seeing her competing against some of the divisions where there's often more competitors. In FA1 probably I would suspect. But you know, there's a long old time. She's got a lot of distance.
She's got a lot of. How do I put this? She's very smart at course management, but she also has an absolute cannon of an arm. I don't get to see her that often, very intermittently, but every time I see her, she's added 10 meters every single time to her drive, and it blows me away. It caught me off guard because I was just walking out the clubhouse on the first day, and I seen her just have a throw on the rugby field, and I swear she nearly threw it 100 from post to post. Just as I walked out at the very beginning of the day, I was in shock. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, we can't say one to watch out for. She's a 2-time world champ for a reason.
Yeah.
But the battles we should be looking out for between her, Alison, and some other younger up-and-coming ladies in the next couple of years are going to be just incredible.
Yeah, there will be. Okay, going to flick over to Moonshine, which took place at the weekend as well. This was played in Upper Hutt in Moonshine Park, which is on just by the side of the motorway in Trent from the other side of the Hutt River. If you know it, it's just as you go up State Highway 2, it's just after the bridge over the river. And it's in there. It's going to be a new course, Morgan. So this course that they were playing, the layout for it was a kind of the last tester, if you like, the last kind of stress test before it goes into the ground. So yeah, it was interesting to see how everybody got on. Andy Davey wins MPO by 12 shots over Carson Boone. Yeah, he really did smash it. I mean, I heard it was quite windy, and the conditions weren't ideal, but still manages to shoot 5 under par, 2 under par, and a 7 under par.
Yep.
In MA1, KJ Carrig beats Josh Groot on a playoff, as they both finished on +2. Gary Jarvis dominates MA40 by 13 shots over Chris Houston. Kath Headley wins FA40 quite comfortably. Kieran Martin takes out MA2 with a 2 under par, and Dane Williamson heads quite a deep MA3 field with a +10. Suzanne Patterson wins MA3. Tane Payne wins MJ18. So it really interesting. I can't wait for that course to go in the ground. It's I played in a kind of fundraiser event that they did there actually might be more than a year ago now. And yeah, it was great fun. Nice little place to be, closer to my house than Harkle Park. So
was that the one Chris Woodhouse did, out of interest, or am I thinking of a different?
No, this is Sean Lincoln. This is Sean Lincoln's work.
Yep.
Part of the Greater Wellington crew, and he was the tournament director and also the course designer for this. So yeah, it's good. They got a few boxes to tick with council, as you always have to. But yeah. Right, now we're going to look ahead to the Middle Earth Open and the Southern Smash. So we're going to have a look at the tips here for the Smash. A bit of a packed field, Morgan.
At the Smash? Yes, of course it is. I mean, 88 players playing on the modified short course. I think they're going out onto the ball golf course for only, and sorry, Invercargill guys, I'm thinking only 2, 3, 4 holes, and then they're back into a slightly modified shorter course.
Yeah. 4 of the top 8 players in the country are playing in this event.
Yep.
Levi Stout, Francis Orange, Ethan Stout, and Jack Maffey all taking part. The data analytics team have got Levi to win at 2.3.
Oh, good. Yes.
And that's in spite of Francis, Ethan, and Jack Maffey in the field as well. You've got Ben Willake, Sebastian Faulkner, and Andrew Popham outside of that, who could do a job. Hayden Edgley, arguably, as well on his. Haydes
is a beast down there. He really is.
Yeah, so that could be one to watch and could be value at 6 to place. In FPO, Alison Tweedy goes up against Hayley Flintoff, Nicola Stout, and Echo Lee. This is going to be great. I think this is going to be a fantastic battle between these 4 ladies. 4 of the top 10 ladies battling it out.
We've talked about Alison sort of playing the BTs, we'll call them. Well, they are the BTs, playing BT tournaments just to, she's a young lady, just trying to maintain her body as it grows. But this being her home course, being on the short layout, man.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be an upset? Is it even called an upset at this point?
What if she wins?
Yeah.
I don't think it's an upset if she wins.
No, I don't think so.
She's ranked 2nd. Haley's 4th. She's carrying form going into the event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It would be. You could argue it would be an upset if Haley won. But honestly, I think the odds are probably closer than they're suggesting even there.
Yeah.
But 4 of the top 10 ladies competing in FPO this weekend, which is great to see. Tom McKay is the favourite in MP40 over Johnny Ferrari. I've heard that actually Mikey Yu has also come into the fold.
He has. He got off the wait list just today, I believe.
So that could change some of the odds. And it's worth saying that the odds are what they are when you place the bet, right? So what that means is that if the lineup changes from time to time, then that means that you're gonna that the odds change.
Yep.
Right. let me just check. I need to. There isn't on the thing at the moment. Oh, I know why. Okay, so I need to just make a change in the back end, and then we'll be away.
Tickety boot.
So I'll make that change, and the odds will switch around for those players. Which is why it's almost always good to put your bets on as late as possible, because that's when you've got the full picture of who's involved. In MA1, Brenly Marshall is the favourite going in over Norman Tudor, both locals, I think, to Invercargill as well. So so we'll be doing battle in MA1. Rowan Simmons is the favourite to win in FA1. MA40, Stu Gilchrist, off the back of his second place at Nationals, will be looking to get back to winning ways over Barry Van Beek, who joined him on the lead card for Nationals. He's at 3.8.
And then how about Mr. Lance Essen hiding right there as well?
Yeah,
coming down to Stu, coming down to these boys' neck of the woods, BVB and Lance's backyard. He's up against it, if I'm honest. As good as Stu is, this is their home turf, and these guys are just beasts down there.
Indeed. Mark Tebbett is favourite in MA50, and over to MA2, Chris Leverby is the favourite over Joseph Ball and Tiaki Gillies. Tiaki makes quite a few appearances in our hot scores, so I wouldn't be surprised if he can do something good here. In MA3, it's a little bit closer. Alex McIntosh, Richard Ruranui, and Brad Spencer are your favourites. And then down in MJ18, Connor Rance is the favourite to take that out that division.
Could I just ask producer Tom, can you scroll back up to MA2? I just want to see if the odds for Mr. Joseph Ball are on the screen. I'm sorry, I was on the Disc Golf South page just a moment ago. Joseph Ball, 5.4. I think I know where my money's going, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that's your bet? Is it?
I think that's my pick of the week for your value for money.
Oh, okay, all right.
No questions asked, hey Matt. Just take that information with a grain of salt.
No, I think it because you know these guys down in the South Island better than I do.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to go with your tip. We shall see what happens when that eventuates.
Get the house.
Let's have a look at Moonshine now.
Middle Earth.
Not Moonshine, Middle Earth. I'm getting mixed up. So going across to the Middle Earth Open. Where are we? As we said when we were speaking to Johnny earlier, you got Johnny, Andy, Sergey, and Ben Morrison competing in MPO. It's going to be incredibly close between Andy and Johnny, I suspect. In MA1, it's going to be far more open. Really, the data analytics team picking Dan Pickersgill, Tim Wilson, and Finn Rumors to do battle here. And if anyone outside of those three can make a dent into the place and you pick it, then you stand to win big. In FA1, Hannah Edmonds and Amy Whitmore are almost tied in the odds to win FA1. This is going to be quite a good battle between them, I suspect. Hannah Edmonds just been picked up by Disconnection. Don't know if you saw that.
I did not. That's awesome. Congratulations.
And obviously Amy Whitmore is very well supported as well, so it's going to be an interesting battle between those two. Jeff Bayliss and Rob Pickersgill go head to head in MA40, and finally in MA3, Hamish Clayton, Andrew Glover, and Callum Allardyce are the favourites to finish in the top three in MA3. Still space in Middle Earth. If you're in the capital and you fancy giving it a go and you want to play, then get in touch with Brady Cush, and there's still spaces left. I don't think Rego has closed yet. So yeah, get involved if you're available that weekend. Right, now something which we're going to feature on the show in a few weeks' time, but we we can't. Well, we're going to get all the people on that are relevant to the conversation, which is, and you might have seen this, Morgan. Did you see this? The disc golf marathon.
Oh yeah, that's being put on by Chelsea Pryor, Jake Meikle, the guys at the University of Canterbury, the youth league club down there, supporting the Cancer Society. Fantastic.
That's right.
That's right. That's probably the best thing that I've seen in disc golf in quite a while, because Cancer Society sits very deep and true to me. So, man, I'll support this any way I can. Except for playing, because that's way too much disc golf for this guy.
So, I mean, this was interesting, right? Because Wellington started with the Centurion, and then Disc Daddies decided to copy it, and I'm getting better at being said into my ear by Tom. The Disc Daddies decided to clone it, rip it off, and run their event, and then Canterbury University of Canterbury Disc Golf Club have gone one better. And so the idea here is that they're going to play from 9 a.m. until 9 a.m. They're going to play 24 hours of disc golf.
Love it.
It's not sanctioned. So they're going to play as much disc golf as they can in that time. Now, if you're a card of 4, Morgan, and you're reasonably good players, so 4 players that are about as good as you, right? And you're playing Jelly Park, and you've got to eat. Presumably, you're just going to kind of eat as you go, right? You're going to snack it rather than get going for an hour lunch break or whatever. How long does it take you to get round Jelly Park?
Man, like, I feel like the guys that are really going to go for it are probably going to aim for 24 rounds in 24 hours. I was
going to say, can you do a round in an hour? You can, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, like, one person going around Jelly Park. I've punched out 18 holes there in probably like 30
half an
minutes.
hour.
Yeah, 30, 35 minutes when I'm in a rush.
But
so
we're looking at about 30. You reckon the winners are going to be going around 30 rounds?
You might be pressed, right? Because you got to bring in fatigue, you got to bring in food, you got to bring in legitimately. You've got to have rest stops. That's a long time.
You need to hydrate. You need to feed yourself.
Yeah,
you need
not everyone's Keith Stevens out here, man. Not everyone's Keith Stevens, the Iron Man. Yeah, I think 24 to maybe 25. Someone might try to sneak that extra one in there. I think that's a reasonable figure for the top.
Jake is saying that they're planning on food being provided by the social club. The Curry Sock is keen to be on site and provide food. So the Curry Society is going to be feeding all of the people around. So it's I was going to say, hopefully the Portaloo Society is also involved in this venture.
I love that. I love that.
Stay clear of Jelly Park if you don't have a peg.
Stay clear of Jake.
Not playing. Indeed. So anyway, but look, it's for a fantastic cause. If you want to get involved and you want to play in it, then there's more information coming out. Now, I missed the kind of timings on it. We're gonna get Chelsea or Jake onto the show to talk a little bit more about it a bit closer to the time. But it's something to have a look out for. I think there's some stuff on their socials.
Yeah, so it's the 8th to 9th of March, starting at 9 a.m. on the Saturday, finishing at 9 a.m. on Sunday. So
so it's not too long away. It's not too far away.
No, so they're planning on doing a shotgun start at 9 a.m. where everyone starts together, and then when the last card comes in and signs their card off, then you can go out and start playing as many rounds and as quickly as you can from there. But they want everyone to do one round of shotgun start first. So that's probably going to be an hour and a half, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. So even next week or the week after, we'll see if we can get Jake or Chelsea on the show and have a chat to them about what's going on.
Jake's not divulged what his plans are to me, but he said he's got some big plans for later in the year, and he really wants to come on around the September time. So maybe we will reach out and try and get Chelsea on the show.
Okay. Excellent. Sounds good to me. Right. Now let's just have a quick look at power rankings. And I think we're probably done. So let's have a look at power rankings. Now you'll notice that the overseas pros have all dropped out of the power rankings. This is due to none of them having played 5 events or more in the 365 days prior to the last event of the Power Rankings, which, as you can see there, is updated to Moonshine Open 16th of Feb. So Michelle Simpson resumes her place at the top of the Power Rankings for women. Alison Tweedy in 2nd, Michaela Kerr 3rd, Hayley Fintoff in 4th. So yeah, it's very difficult to see any kind of big movements there, honestly, but there has been. And then over into the men's division, Jack Maffey climbs up 10 spots to 8th.
Boom.
Jack. He's up against Ethan Stout, Francis Orange, and Levi Stout this weekend. So we shall see how that goes. Ben Quinn is up 26 spots to 19th. So well done to him as well. Some other big movers. Kevin Carpenter is up 42 spots to 52. And Matt Broughton is up 29 spots to 30th. So well done to both of them. Right. I think that more or less does it for us. Only to say, I've got 2 more things to go through. One, something that we've been kind of chucking around in the group chats at Sweet Chain Live is we'd love to have a debate, a debate night, which we've kind of half done, I think, in years gone past, but we haven't done one for a while. And the topic of tournament entry fees has come up. So we'd like to do a debate on tournament entry fees. You've got we're going to get Arn will be joining us as the tour director in his tour director capacity. We haven't asked him yet, but I'm sure he will.
Yeah, surprise, Arn.
A
weekly grenade.
But also, look, if you're somebody who's got a viewpoint on this or feels passionately one way or the other about tournament entry fees, or you've run a lot of tournaments and you feel like you've got a good gauge on where to set an entry fee, then we'd love to hear from you and love to have you as part of the debate. So please reach out. So we'll be doing that in a few weeks' time. The only other thing to talk about is please like, comment, and subscribe. Liking this video, subscribing to the channel, commenting on the video makes a huge difference to the eyes that get to see this in YouTube algorithm feeds. If you want to go one step further and support the show even more, then patreon.com/sweetchainlive is where you can do that and get involved there. We've got some exclusive videos on there. There'll be more dropping soon. And yeah, it gets you more entries into giveaways as well. So yeah. Anyway, that's it from me. Anything else from you, Morgan?
No, brother, I am all good for the week. I think, what are we? We're only an hour and 6 minutes into the show. A nice short one this week. We look forward to coming back next week, and I look forward to seeing you back on my screen.
Indeed. So very best of luck to everybody playing at the Southern Smash and at Middle-earth Open this weekend, and wherever you're playing disc golf. Take it easy, play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.